Evening, everyone. So, I was about to say it's a beautiful summer's evening, because until 10 minutes ago it was. But I am at a theatre in West Sussex called Chichester Festival Theatre. You can see it behind me. I've been coming here now for probably about 15-20 years, and it's kind of the highlight of summer, and I always get very excited when the yearly festival brochure comes through the door. So let me tell you a bit about it. Chichester Festival Theatre has been going since the 70s. There are two theatres here on site. I'm going to walk through in a second and show you some of the areas. And the Chichester Festival Theatre, which is behind me, and then the Minerva Theatre, which is much smaller and has developed a worldwide reputation for producing top-line plays and musicals. So let me give you a few ideas. The recent production of Gypsy came from here, and the recent production of The Pyjama Game came from here. The recent production of Sweeney Todd with Michael Ball came from here as well. Michael Ball was here in Mac and Mabel a couple of summers ago. Last summer we had a revival of Me and My Girl with Matt Lucas, and there was also The Flowers for Mrs. Harris was here last year as well. So for a long time now, producing sort of big West End style musicals. Obviously the biggest thing recently from the West End was the new production of Half a Sixpence, which had its premiere here as well, but 2 or 3 summers ago. So definitely worth looking at. I'm going to stick some links below. Today we are here for a new musical called This Is My Family, which is written by Tim Firth. Not seen it, not heard anything, not heard a note of the music. It's got a pretty impressive cast, including Claire Burt, Sheila Hancock, James Nesbitt, Rachel Lumberg. So a very impressive cast. I know it's about a dysfunctional family. I'm hoping it's not going to be too dull, but it is checking out. Not a few weeks ago, we were here for Shadowlands, a play. So the play about C.S. Lewis is on in the main house until tomorrow. That's got Hugh Bonneville in, and the big summer musical is Oklahoma. So it is definitely worth checking out. These shows are normally revived beautifully. Both theatres have big open thrust stages, and as you can see by looking around me, there's also, if you're coming on a day when the weather is out, the festival normally runs through the summer, you can bring picnics. There's also a beautiful restaurant, a nice bar, places to get pizzas, so it can be a really beautiful night out in the summer. And I must confess, over the years I've seen some absolute beauties. They tend to do a really great job of reviving old musicals into brand new, bright as a button ones. So very interesting to see what they do with Oklahoma, especially with the competition with the New York one at the second. So let me tell you a bit more about it later. This is Chichester Festival Theatre, and we are here for This Is My Family. Coming up in the season, Oklahoma, the Deep Blue Sea, a revival, and currently Shadowlands. This Is My Family has another 3 or 4 weeks left, I think, and some new plays coming up as well, so plenty to see. So as mentioned, there's the smaller theatre and the restaurant, which is just here, and then the bigger theatre's here. Not sure on seating capacity. The bigger theatre is pretty big, but I have to say, if you want a quick tip for tickets, there are some side seats, normally up high, which are normally, if you can get in quick enough, £10, £14. Brilliant view. And the other week we took those for Shadowlands, which was great. And to the right here is the Brasserie. Not eating there, but apparently lovely. And then the Minerva, which is where we're going tonight, which is the smaller theatre. Also over here you can see there's a smaller cafe sort of thing, sandwiches and stuff, so you can really make a day of it. It's awesome. Not that I'm trying to promote them, but here we go. So we're just walk you down here a little bit and show you a bit about some of the other stuff they're doing. The festival brochure normally comes out around February. I'm a friend, so I pay a fee and get early booking. So that's what we're here for this evening. Anyone who knows Daniel Evans, who's a Olivier award-winning actor, he was also in charge of Sheffield Crucible for a while. He's now the artistic director here. So he's directed this evening's performance. He's also directed Oklahoma coming up as well. I think he hasn't, maybe not. Not sure that's the right information, but he's definitely in charge of the season. He did a revival of Me and My Girl last year. Nancy Carroll and Hadley Fraser in The Deep Blue Sea. An interesting looking Oklahoma. Jeremy Sams, there we go, directing Oklahoma. So we'll see. I'll come back to you later with some more information around how tonight's show was. Morning, so we're back after our night out at Chichester and we had an absolutely great time. So let me tell you a bit about This Is My Family. So This Is My Family previewed in 2013 at Chichester Crucible, which Daniel Evans used to be the artistic director. Daniel Evans is now artistic director at Chichester and also directed this play. So say play, this is really an out-and-out musical. It's funny, the lady next to me said, oh, I know you go and watch musicals, and I mean, the whole thing is sung, so I don't know what point you missed there, but anyway. And very rarely nowadays in musicals, the music, the lyrics, and the book is all written by Tim Firth. Now, Tim Firth, you might know from Canada Girls. He wrote the book for the Band musical, which has just been around. He also wrote the Girls musical with Gary Barlow. Interestingly, Gary Barlow just walked into the theatre this evening, which was quite a shock. But anyway, to watch the show, obviously not to be in it. So let me tell you, so the show is about what I would describe as, I would say, a modern dysfunctional family. There's nothing really wrong with any of them. There's mum and dad, so played absolutely beautifully by James Nesbitt, obviously from Cold Feet TV, and also by Claire Burt. Claire Burt has been in musical theatre for many years and played the mum. Now these two have kind of fallen out of love and gone into everyday life by means of just being around and looking after their kids. There's a fantastic performance by the two kids as well. Now let me just double check. I did write down some names and I don't want to misquote anybody's names. So yeah, Kirsty McLaren, who plays Nikki, so she kind of was a bit like the narrator of the piece, and I'd actually seen her in a play in London, The Ladies of Sexual Passion, whatever it was called, I can't remember what it was called, she was absolutely wonderful as well, and kept the whole thing going. Now the story is about these people that have lost love, lost themselves, and thrown into the mix is the arrival of the father's mother, so obviously, who's been diagnosed, I guess it's in the background, but hinted that she's diagnosed with Alzheimer's or dementia, and really about how the family cope. At the same time, the lead girl the young girl is winning a holiday and ends up taking the mum and dad on a camping trip. So yeah, it's an absolutely fun. It's very, very funny. Anyone who knows Tim Firth's writing will confess he's got a great way of capturing honesty, integrity, day-to-day normality with razor sharp wit and comedy, and then being able also in the next line to be able to break your heart. There were some fantastic lines in this which really choked me up 2 or 3 times. In the second part, there's a fantastic set in the opening and the act 1 of the house, a 2-layered house on a revolve, which revolves round for act 2, and they lift up the floor and we're out in the muddy wilderness. They try and pitch a tent in the absolute pouring rain, so there's a great effect as well. As with everything at Chichester, this looks set, sort of lighting, costumes, set looks absolutely stunning. The music's great, and the grandmother is played by the remarkable, always impressive Sheila Hancock. Now, there was a few moments in it where she obviously had to play an older lady trying to struggle to grab her memory, and it was incredibly sad. And with no words, you just saw on her face that she just didn't know, and she portrayed this lady desperate to try and remember her past, and even at one point, in one quite heartbreaking point, her granddaughter. A little bit of a treat in the show as well. We have Rachel Lumberg. So Rachel Lumberg is just been around the country a couple of times with the Band musical, playing the lead, and was in this originally in Sheffield and has obviously come back to the role. She plays the mother's sister, so the kid's aunt, and she is a full of life, larger than life lady that kind of wants to see life as it's in the brochure, and she makes for a bit of a contrast to kind of the subtle day-to-day suburban side of it that we see with the lady. So now the show, I'm not sure whether this will have a life. I really hope, one of the things I said to my mum when we were finishing is I really would love to see that go into another house in London or anywhere else, because it is a real hidden gem. As with everything at Chichester, it runs, I think it's around a 6 or 7 week period. It's at the Minerva Theatre, which I've just shown you earlier. Very small, and I don't know if it's very easy to get any tickets. I know I bought my tickets very, very, very early on. I buy normally all my Chichester Festival at one point because I get you get money off normally. Ticket tip for you there. But if you can get some day seats or returns or even singles, I know last time I looked with the intent of going again, there were 1s and 2s dotted around the place. So this is my family at Chichester, and I would have to give it 5 stars. Not much not to like in this show. Fantastic performances, wonderful set, wonderful lighting, an absolutely hilarious, funny, heartbreaking score, lyrics, book by Tim Firth. I'd give it 5 stars. Now, if you are considering going, book now. There's also Oklahoma coming up in Chichester as well, which will be an interesting ride. Also a revival of Terence Rattigan's The Deep Blue Sea, which also looks good. I've booked tickets for that as well. May not vlog, but you know it's on, so go. So today, thanks for all the subscriptions so far. As the curtain comes down today, as always, please do the normal. Please, can you subscribe to the channel? And that's below. Just hit subscribe, hit the bell, and also make a comment as well. It's always good to hear some interactions and hear from you. You can also get in touch on Twitter. On Twitter, I am Adam Amdram, at Adam Amdram. Instagram, Amdram Adam, and on Facebook, Amdram Adam. I will post the videos to all the links, and I will look forward to seeing you on the aisle soon. See you for now.